All right. I think what was the last episode or maybe a couple episodes ago, we wished a couple of guys happy birthday to start off the episodes. And I think we might have to do the same thing this time. Happy birthday to Luka.
Luka Magic.
Happy birthday to Luka, man. He just turned 23, which is crazy to think. You feel me? Like 23. I mean, I know obviously we talk about that young core of guys, and the whole the league is in good hands, all that stuff. But to know that he's 23, it's, could be some scary times for the rest of the league. But
yeah. 23, JT. Luka's special though. Like he's special. I mean, we can't even. I was like last year. I was talking about he has a chance to win the MVP. Just think about that. Like he was 22, now he's 23. So shout out to Luka. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he would be one of, if he were to have won it, one of the youngest MVPs ever. Obviously, shout out to D Rose. And I actually saw, I think, a graphic or something like that between.
Yeah, it's crazy. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. I was waiting. I knew you was gonna bring it up. I knew you was gonna bring it up.
Everything just gets connected, though. You feel me? I mean, it wasn't like I didn't come on here talking about that. I just, hearing Luka. If you talk about MVP, it's his birthday, youngest MVP.
Yeah.
The youngest MVP to ever get it done was Derrick Rose, which all that is connected.
These just start getting disrespectful for like no reason at all. Like it's crazy because what happens, like we're in an era where stats are so easy collected. So it's just like with the spacing in the NBA, with the more possessions in the NBA, it's just like guys are going to average way more numbers compared to like just 5 to like 10 years ago. And I think people have to understand that. That's why we can't get so caught up in like these stats, these raw numbers. It's like I always say, like, I had a clip that I just posted with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I was talking about like for years, my only critique of Giannis and his weakness with like his skill set. And I like the past 2 years, like even this year, especially like, the raw numbers are the same, but Giannis looks like a totally different player because like his skill set, he's actually like really developing. The things he's doing in the offseason is translating to the court. And it's just like, I don't get caught up in like the raw numbers and the raw stats because like in this era, anybody can put up raw numbers if you get enough minutes, if you get enough like usage and stuff like that. But like, are you really developing? But for this instance, with the clip, with the image with Derrick Rose and Ja Morant, the question was like, who's better at this age or something? It was just like with the two, and I'm just like, it gets disrespectful. I just feel like.
Do you think it should be unanimous? Do you think it should be absolutely, like if you ask 10, or let's say if you ask 100 people, do you think the answer should be 100 to 0? Let me not say 100. 100 is kind of a wild number. 10. 10.
Yeah, I do.
That's fair.
I do fair. because it's just like what Derrick Rose was doing was so electrifying. It was so like crazy, and it was just like, he was really like arguably in the regular season the best player in the regular season during LeBron's like peak. Like so LeBron was like, if he wasn't like at his peak, he was damn near close to his peak, and then Derrick Rose came and won MVP. That's how special that regular season was, and it was just like what he was doing with the Chicago Bulls, and it's just like even in the playoffs, it's just like the brother was special. I mean, I think we got to pump the brakes a little bit. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, you talk about what Derrick Rose is doing during LeBron's peak, but it's funny. I just really don't even know anymore right now, like who the best player in the world is. And the only reason why I say that is because if we're comparing, right, Derrick was doing this in LeBron's era and his peak. It's like obviously, KD, is recovering from injury. LeBron is having, the Lakers, I would say, are struggling.
There you go.
But yeah,
smart man.
What? Oh, I mean, I acknowledge that. I mean,
no, smart. No, smart. I say you smart man because I feel like I'm gonna let you finish, but I feel like you're a smart man because I think people get like caught up in like the Lakers and their struggles and stuff like that. But it's just like, and they got booed. They got booed the other day, and I'm just kind of like, well, I get it. They're frustrated, but if it's one player on that team that don't deserve to get booed, it's LeBron James. Like LeBron James came and took a franchise that was not even making the playoffs and brought them back to the promised land. And he's playing at an MVP level this season. So it's like, damn, come on, like let's show a little bit more respect.
Yeah, there's definitely a separation between LeBron's play and the Lakers' play, if that makes sense. Like y'all know by now how much I care about winning, but at the same time, I'm not going to act blind to what an individual is doing. But even with that being said, with wherever you have him in MVP conversations, it still feels odd to completely go out and say outright that the best player in the world is on a play-in team. And not to say that I don't think he is or is not the best player, but I just can't say it should be a unanimous decision. A lot of teams are playing well. There's a lot of injuries and things like that. But I know, or I can't even say no anymore. I hope that the Lakers can figure it out. And it's definitely not LeBron's fault. I mean, yeah. I'm not one to point fingers, but it's obvious now more than ever. You can't expect a 37-year-old, 19-year vet to still be doing the same thing that he was doing a decade ago. Yeah. A decade ago. And it just reaches a point now where it's like, I'm sure if in his mind, he probably didn't sign up for this. Laker fans probably didn't expect this. No one really expected. And what it is too, I think there is, it's one thing to struggle because of chemistry, right? Guys haven't played together at all for a while, whatever. But then it's another thing to just be playing ass. It's nothing to be like compete. Like Lakers might not even make the playoffs, bro. Right? And now this isn't even like an opinion. This is like literal like numbers. And when you look at the standings, this isn't October or November and we're coming out with our predictions. Like literally it's March. It's March.
22 games, like what, 21, 22 games left.
It's March.
What the hell is going on?
And so obviously, it's too late for trades and I'm not saying there should be, but like I still, crazy enough, still think that they could win the championship just because of the fact of the weight that LeBron's name holds. And there's no one else. Okay, I maybe say Kevin Durant, but there's no one else really who I could say, you know what? Not too sure what the team is doing this year, but they still have this guy, so anything can happen. But it's getting nasty. To wrap up that summary, it's getting nasty in Hollywood. It's getting nasty.
It's real. You're real. But it's crazy. I'm all about consistency. When I talk about like players, and sometimes I feel like some players it lacks a lot of consistency when we talk about certain players other than others. But I feel like everything you said is 100% true. But like I can't sit up and say like, LeBron James, like to me, like when we talk about overall like players, like of course he's going to be in that upper echelon, top 3 players in the league, top 3 to 5 right now. But like for us, the best player in the league, no, I can't sit up and say that because like you said, like we're in a play-in situation. But it's just kind of like even the fact that we're even having this conversation about is LeBron James, can he still be considered the best player in the world? And his team is in a play-in situation, just speaks volumes to his talent and volumes to him playing at a high level at 37 years old at an MVP caliber level. And I said last year about Stephen Curry, people like Stephen Curry is the best player in the world. I was like, Stephen Curry's team is in the play-in. Like same thing with LeBron. It's that simple with me. Like I don't. All the people talking about like Stephen Curry should win the MVP, like this and that. I was like, no, your team is in the play-in. Like didn't even make the playoffs. Like we're talking about, and he finished top 3, and that was crazy to me. So I'm damn sure not gonna sit here and sit up and say like, yo, LeBron is the best player in the world, and his team's in a play-in situation. I know he's top 3. But it's just like it's hard. But like you said, I think we have to factor in. This is what I always talk about. We have to factor in that, and it's crazy to think about. And I'm about to go back to my next point. It's just like it should be no excuse. You say you think they can still, you still got faith in the Lakers. They could possibly win a championship.
No. I have faith in LeBron James.
Faith in LeBron James
means big difference.
Yeah. Okay. Faith in LeBron James. But it's just kind of like, like at the age 37. It's just like LeBron James can't carry like he used to. And he shouldn't have to carry like he used to. You know what I'm saying? But also I would say with the Lakers, they're stuck in the 2000s. Like their offense is a 2000s offense. They're not playing modern day basketball. So I can't even like things I really can't even see like, with that offense, even you got LeBron James with the offenses they're running, it's just like very like it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even you talk about like because of LeBron, like you said, I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even talking about the play-in. I'm talking about the actual playoffs because nothing is guaranteed in the play-in. We saw that last year with the Golden State Warriors. So it's just kind of like, I really don't, it's just very hard for me to even really like talk about because like, it shouldn't really be no excuses because you got LeBron James and Russell Westbrook on your team. Like, I can't even, it's like part of me feels like it shouldn't be no excuses, but also another part of me looks at like their offense and how terrible it is. And it's just like, it's just a bad situation with the Lakers right now.
Especially when you consider what's being asked. Like some teams are built for the regular season, if you will. Like some teams care. So I expect certain teams to try hard every single game. I'm not asking the Lakers to go 73-9. I didn't expect that. You feel me? But damn it, a 9 seed and we pushing March? Yeah. It's starting to get warm out and it's still like question marks. You feel me? Like we done experienced snow. We done experienced rain. It's about to be 80 damn degrees on the East Coast and it's still some struggles. To put it in perspective, seasons are changing. Literally. And it's like, all right, that clock is getting louder and louder. Yeah. But I will say this until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
One team has LeBron James and the other does not. And that's not to say that, like, you know, I don't think that they can lose or whatever. But like, if there is one player who has consistently, I know obviously last year was kind of wacky, but if there's one player, I don't give a damn how old he is, until he comes out and gets swept or until he comes out with a fully healthy roster and loses by a dub, I'm not going to sit here and say that a team with LeBron James and hopefully, the entire team can step it up. But
yeah, it gets
nasty.
It gets nasty. It's been some disrespectful takes that I've been seeing. A shout out also to, Brandon Ingram as well. It's just kind of like he's a star. And it's just like sometimes you got to give up young stars to win championships. And that's what the Los Angeles Lakers did when they packaged him in that deal with Anthony Davis. But the brother's a star. I've been saying it for a while now. Like, the best player on the Pelicans is not Zion Williamson. It's Brandon Ingram. I've been saying it for a while. When the offense runs and flows through him and you let him like create, you let him like score, you let him be like this dual forward, like it gets scary. And now he has a partner in crime with CJ McCollum. It's just like, who's at the first time in his career, so it's like he's the go-to guy for it's like being a lead guard on the team. He was still dropping like 30s and 40s with Damian Lillard, but now this time he has the ball in his hands all the time. He's a combo guard. Like, he can score, he can pass and facilitate. Like, he's in a new role where like people are really getting to see him blossom and like really like, we always knew like he was always this, like, everybody talks about who should be an all-star that's never an all-star. We always talk about CJ McCollum, but like now, like, he's going to be in a situation where he can really go out and show, maybe not this year, but like next year, like, like, I'm here, And for Zion Williamson, get back and get healthy. Like, come back and hoop. Like, it's no more excuses. Like, you got like a Brandon Ingram, a young star. You got CJ McCollum, like a top 5. I think you called him a top 5 skilled guard in the league. And it's just like, come back and get healthy. And the Pelicans could probably be something special going forward in the future.
So you talked about Brandon Ingram. I'm going to talk about Zion a little bit and how quickly people tend to forget. And I know there's some issues and rumors and all that stuff going around and stuff like that. But this isn't I don't want to say the name, but I'm going. This isn't a Greg Oden situation. Love Greg Oden. Shout out to Portland and all that. But the reason why I say that is because it amazes me how quickly people are saying, like, either is he a bust or is it
that's crazy.
Early? The brother was in an all-star game. Like, the numbers that he was putting up, especially in terms of efficiency, it's like, I get it. It's been a little while since he's played, but he's not 38 years old and washed up. Like, he's not, you know what I'm saying, like, been in the league for 2 decades, and now we got to wonder. He's still young. Now, whether or not he wants to be there or whatnot, hey, that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. But just the idea of questioning his talent, I don't know about that. Right? I think we might want to slow down and reevaluate how we're speaking on this conversation as a whole. Zion is not a player who we should just feel like, all right, trade him, get him out of there as soon as possible. This is still an all-star caliber guy, and I know it's been a while since folks have seen him play, but let's not jump to conclusions and just automatically think his career is over or that he's a bust or that he drops. We still don't know. We still don't know. So we just have to kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah, the only concern was like his health was going to be like deleterious when he first came into the league. It was just like, I just figured like, we knew he was going to be special, but I was always concerned about his knees, and he's had a lot of lower body issues where it's like his knees, or like his foot and stuff like that. That's the biggest concern. So that's why people are just talking about like, is he going to be back able to recover and stuff like that? But we also saw like Joel Embiid miss like the first like 2 or 3 NBA seasons before Joel Embiid really got right. So it's just like, he still has time to figure things out. And for us, like the part of like, does he want to be here? Like, let me tell you something. Like, me and you are all for player movement, We're all for players doing what they want to do and going into right situations. But he ain't done shit. He ain't done nothing to really deserve like that even conversation like he wants out. He's done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron James for damn near 10 years didn't have a teammate as good as Brandon Ingram or CJ McCollum, was taking teams to the finals. Paul Pierce for like 10 plus years didn't have a teammate as good as Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, was still competing every day. Like this whole concept of like player movement, like, oh, I just want to go where I want to be and stuff like that. You're in New Orleans. Like you got good teammates around you. You're not in damn Oklahoma City Thunder. Like you in just the part to put the city aspect around. Like you're not in damn Utah. There's some players there's some stars out in Utah. You know what I'm saying? Like Donovan Mitchell's a star. You think Donovan Mitchell don't want to be in New York? you think like Donovan Mitchell don't want to be in Miami? So it's just kind of, and he's actually done stuff, had success in the playoffs, like put his team on his back, like got real moments, like got real like trade value. If he really wants out, like yo, like I wouldn't mind him just saying like he wants out more so than a Zion Williamson. Like he ain't done nothing. So it's just like come back, get healthy, and hoop because you're super talented and we want to see you shine and we're rooting for you. But it's just like all this like player movement and prima donna kind of shit. It's kind of like it gets kind of annoying when like, yo, you ain't really done nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
that's tough. I get it. I would say though too, the one thing that Zion has going for him is leverage. Right? So it's like whether you feel like he's done something or not, the idea of like teams would want him. This isn't like, okay, if Zion wants out, people aren't going to pick up the phone. Teams and players would want Zion Williamson on their team. And so I agree in that, you know, when you're young, you shouldn't really feel strongly about, damn, I got to get out of here, unless the situation is like OD bad. But at the same time, I'm all for player movement and that if you know your worth, if you know that you want to leave.
Done nothing.
Right. But that's not, whether he's done something or not doesn't matter. What matters is if teams want him. That is the only thing that matters here.
I don't necessarily agree with that because it's a whole lot. Of course, a whole lot of teams are going to want Zion Williamson, but he's not really in control as much as people think because like he ain't signed that big contract. You know what I'm saying? If he really wants out, sign a qualifying offer for $5 million. Like after the team option is done. If you really went out, that's how you get out. Say you're not going to sign a long-term, after your rookie deal, say you're not going to sign a long-term contract extension with the New Orleans. If you really want out, that's how you really get out. That ain't about to happen.
Well, wanting out and accepting less money are two completely different things. I might want out of a situation, but I'm not going to fumble my damn bag because I'm miserable or because I had a bad day.
Exactly. And let me tell you something. If they sign Zion Williamson to a rookie contract extension worth millions of dollars, Zion Williamson's ass is going to be in New Orleans. Like, I guarantee you, like, it's not going to be this, like, or he's going to sit his ass home and he's going to get fined like they did Ben Simmons. You know, so I don't think it's going to be this situation where it's just going to be like Zion Williamson is really just going to, like, dictate and try to, like, run around like he Pac, making moves and stuff. like he ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he gonna have to, you know, toughen it out a little bit.
I won't say that he hasn't done anything at all. Cause I mean, an all-star and probably this, maybe he hasn't done it for a while, I'll say. Because making an all-star game at that age and to be that young is pretty impressive, right? The numbers that he's put up, again, going off the efficiency and just overall the pressure, right? Of not just being a number one overall pick, but, you know, he was being compared to a lot of different people. He wasn't even a typical number one pick. He was getting some different types of comparisons. And
that was a problem as well.
Right. But now a lot of things and factors come into play. Injury, overall playoff success or lack thereof, the team that you're on, I guess overall mood in terms of like, because now people might question, well, is he healthy enough to play or is it just, you know, he doesn't want to speed up the process. Now, again, either way, I'm all for, you know, not wanting to play for a team or an organization if you feel like they've either done you wrong or you're not rocking with the vibe on the team. I'm with that. Yeah. But as long as that's the reason.
That's why Ben Simmons has always had my support in the Philadelphia situation.
No, that is a little bit different. But
no, not really.
Only reason why I say it's different is because accountability for yourself also has to be a factor as well, right? Zion, and I'm not comparing the two, Zion and Ben, but just the idea of like, all right, I'm not sure what has happened off the court when it comes to Zion Williamson, but what I've seen when he plays, he's there. You feel me? He's present. He's locked in. He produces. I don't have to question or think whether or not he fits their system. It's more of a, does their system fit him? And so whether, I'm not saying a coaching change or whatever, but something has to give to the point where we acknowledge that Zion himself is talented. And so I know you're not saying he's not, but we can't really have a debate or conversation on whether or not he's that dude or like he can score or if he can dominate. Like,
it's a lot of guys that are talented, but it's just like availability matters. Like Zion ain't played. So I don't even know, people talk about like, oh, like he got trade value. Yeah, he got trade value. I don't know how high. Like he's a risk right now. So it's just like he may want out, but it's just like who's gonna take on that risk? Like he's been hurt for a reason. Like it's like his weight has been an issue, like injuries has been an issue. So it's just kind of like, yeah, he may want out, but I don't think his leverage is as high as you really value. I really don't at this point, because I feel like, he doesn't have a max. He's not in a big time contract. Like he hasn't been in the league long. He hasn't really he's had success. Yeah, he went to All-Star game in his second year and stuff like that. I know he averaged like 25, 26 points per game, stuff like that. Crazy, 60% from the field for his efficiency and stuff like that. But like, if I'm GM, I'm not giving up 4 to 5 first round picks for a guy that I've seen less than 1 year.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4 or 5. I don't think that's kind of heavy.
Drew Holiday got 4. He got 2 and stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not doing that. And Zion is a franchise caliber player.
Okay, so, you know what? Okay, I'm glad you mentioned Drew Holiday. So the good thing, right, about the Pelicans as of right now, they're not in a win now mode, right? They are not in a rush, and it doesn't seem like well, I mean,
with him,
I was gonna say it doesn't seem like they've been in a rush for a little while. But the idea is they're not like a missing piece. Like whether Zion comes back this year or not or plays whatever, if I had to guess, the Pelicans probably aren't going to win the championship. And they're not like one piece away from taking that next step to being in the elite of the elite. And so because of that, maybe there isn't much panic or need to worry from the organization, even though there should be, right? If I'm Zion, I want to win every season. I'm not here to wait a little while or wait my turn. The same way players like Jason Tatum and Trae Young have approached the game. All that other waiting shit is clipped. I don't care how young I am. We trying to win now. And so I don't think the organization has taken that precaution. Now, I will say, I like the trade, right? With obviously acquiring CJ. And that, if I'm Zion, that's a sign, right? That is a move in the right direction, because as much as you want to sit here and complain about whatever, at the same time, there's only so much that an organization can do. Right? There's only so much signings that can happen. There's only so much trades that can happen. At some point, again, we talk about looking in the mirror and asking yourself as a player, am I doing any and everything in my power to make this a better situation for myself? Whether he is or isn't, that's a question for him. But accountability plays a huge part in this. Because to your point, has he done, I mean, like I said, I think that he's done something. I won't sit here and say he's done nothing, but it has to be a continued thing. Like you can't just make one All-Star game and think, oh, damn, I've been doing this shit for years now. It has to be a consistent thing. And then you reach a point where it's like, all right, where's my peoples? Where's the folks that's going to help me get to the finals or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, everybody. All-Star. I think Andrew Bogut got an All-Star game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right.
Oh no, I'm just saying that's where we're going off. A guy made one All-Star game. So he's done something.
So that's the energy you want to go off right now?
No, I'm not comparing.
You mentioned the name.
No, I'm just saying the name. I'm just saying the fact. I'm just like, if that's what we're saying that's done something in the league, only you make it to an All-Star game. All right, cool. Like it's a whole lot of players that's made it to probably one All-Star game. That's all I'm saying.
But first, I'm not gonna let you slide by saying that. There's not a lot of players who have averaged what Zion has averaged, regardless of age. Regardless of age.
No, that's definitely true. But I'm just still saying though, like if we're saying off like that's his biggest leverage, like I made it to the All-Star game, it's just like I'm saying like that leverage ain't really that much. And that's just me being real. Like if you've been consistent playing for 5-6 years and been to All-Star game 4 out of 5-6 years and healthy and playing 60+ games a season, then you got some leverage. So but
this isn't a team. No, all right, a couple of things off that. this isn't a team that has all the leverage in the world. The Pelicans are not scaring anyone.
Yeah,
right?
of course. They're a poverty franchise. I know what they are.
They need him more than the other way around. And so because of that, you might want to start thinking twice about, like, if I'm the organization, thinking like, all right, whether he's irritated or not, we probably need him. This isn't like a similar situation to Anthony Davis where he's been here for a while. You know, the fans might love him, all this and that. We're going to need him for the long run, right? And if he's not on board, how do we connect the dots? How do we make him happy? How do we sit here and try and, not burn bridges even more?
They done it. It seemed like, I mean, like, I know the Pelicans, I feel the Pelicans are a poverty franchise. It's a fact with their medical staff department, how it's mixed with football and basketball. That's crazy to think about. So I understand why. That's maybe part of the reason why Zion Williamson's like, yo, I'm doing my rehab away from here. I know what the Pelicans are, but I still have to like give some like credit to them because they're trying some things and they embrace Zion and they made him their franchise player, and like, and the city loves him and like they want him there. But it's like, at some point it's kind of like, what else can you really do? And it could be a point where I'm looking at New Orleans Pelicans are not a really great franchise. I call them a poverty franchise. But you never know what situation may happen, because just because sometimes a star wants out and then the star goes to a different player, go to a different place, that doesn't necessarily mean that like a franchise may not win. One of my favorite skilled players in the history of the NBA, top 75 player of all time, Carmelo Anthony. He won it out of the Denver Nuggets, and he went to the New York Knicks, and they went to the playoffs. They went to the playoffs, I think, like one time with Carmelo during that tenure. Or was it twice? I don't know. I think it's one or twice. Was it one time?
It wasn't a whole lot of.
It wasn't a whole lot. Okay. And the Denver Nuggets kind of like, they built a model of consistency with the team that they had without Carmelo Anthony. So that's what I'm saying. Who knows? Like, Zion Williamson can want to go to New York, and he can go to New York and be struggling not making the playoffs. And then the New York Pelicans can get a package back where they're competing in the playoffs. So you just never know what direction things are going to go. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I feel like the New York Pelicans are trying, and I feel like Zion Williamson has to like show up and hoop. It's like, at some point it's like this: do you love the game or not? That's what it really comes down to. And it's, it's other players that people love to say that about Ben Simmons, but why can't we say that about Zion Williams? Do you love the game or not? Do you want to hoop or not? Are you healthy enough to play? Like, do you want to hoop or not? It's just like, do you love the game? And we always had this conversation about like guys and players getting into the league and stuff like that. Like, it's a reason why LeBron James is 37 years old and still at the top of the damn mountain, or close to the top if he's not on the top, because he loves the game. Kobe Bryant loved the game. Kevin Durant loved the game. Stephen Curry, do you love the game or not? So it's just like, sometimes we have to ask that question with these young players.
But now I think a part of all this life, hoop, all that is evolving, right? Adapting. And we're in a completely different era now where guys are spoiled. How we're seeing this with high schoolers, with teenagers.
Yeah.
They're spoiled by the media, by the fans, by just the overall how people treat them. And because of that, it's given them all the leverage in the world, right? It's given them the opportunity and the right to sit out if they want to, right? For some players, and this isn't even Zion directive, but for some individuals, the passion decreases and it turns into a business, right? And so if you're Zion, right, and you're questioning whether or not, whether or not he loves to hoop and he just wants to play and all that, maybe he doesn't want to risk injury even more, right? Maybe in his mind, it's like, all right, you know what? I don't really want to be here. I love hoop, but I also understand who I am. I understand what I bring to the table. I also understand the leverage that I have.
He's a brand.
Right, yeah. You're a brand. And so you have to protect that brand. And so worst case scenario, you go out there and quote unquote play the game that you love. And again, God forbid you get injured in an even worse situation. Now you can't go nowhere.
But I'm not really talking about.
Sucks. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Just as a hoop head, right? As a person who's like, all right, I love the game. It should be that simple. Go out and play basketball. I wish it was. I wish it was really like that. I really do. I wish we can go back in time. I wish this generation could go back and just get dropped into the early 2000s and see how much even though it was still a business back then, how much it really was just about, I want to be better than all of my competitors. All that other shit takes, a back seat. But now brands get involved. Media gets involved. Being liked gets involved. You know what I'm saying? And so because that's the case, it's like, it's damaging, but I understand it. As an individual, I understand it. I'm not even confused nor upset by it.
I'm not nobody telling them to come out and play while they're hurt and stuff like that. All I'm saying is just like, you can question guys' really passion for the game and love for the game based on things that they do. Like are you coming into the season overweight every year? Like, are you not training in the off season? Like, it's things that you can really question. Like, yo, like, what's up? And it's just kind of like, do you not just want to play because you don't want to play because you don't want to play with the Pelicans? Like, it's just kind of like, that's what I'm saying. It's things you can question. I'm not saying I don't know Zion Williamson. I don't know like anything about Zion. But all I'm saying is just like, it's things that you notice and you pick up on. You have to ask questions like, yo, like, do you really love the game? Like, do you really want to hoop? So it's just kind of like, it is what it is. Because I think these young players got to remember that, yo, this opportunity, you got to live in the moment. Like, this opportunity is right now. Like, nobody knows if you're going to be in the league. Like, LeBron James is playing high basketball at the age of 37, but nobody knows, like, he didn't know that. Like, these young players say they got so much time. Like, you don't know that. You really don't know that. Like,
yeah. For most players, I don't know what the numbers are and stuff, but your prime, especially like to be in the league on average isn't as long as people probably think, just for the average player. You know what I'm saying? But then you think about narrowing and making that window even shorter, your prime in this league may not be that long. And obviously Zion is completely different, but like we done seen a lot of guys peak as rookies. You feel me? We done seen a lot of guys like have an amazing 3-4 year run and then just drop off. We done seen teams have amazing years and just drop off. So like, I get it. We want to look at it from a long-term perspective and you should, right? He's young and all that. But at the same time, take advantage of the now, right? Take advantage of the fact that you are able to play at a high level with somewhat talented guys around you, right? Like B.I., CJ, those are pretty good ball players. It could be a lot worse. And also, to your point, you haven't, I'll say Zion hasn't been through enough. I won't say that he hasn't done nothing, but he hasn't been through enough. He hasn't been through 10 years of no playoffs, right? He hasn't been through, 8 different coaching changes. When you reach that, hey, by all means, sub the organization on social media for all I care. But understand where you're at now and think to yourself, all right, you know what I mean? I know I'm good. You feel me? I know I can still dominate. I know, right, that I should be taking it personal if my name isn't in the conversation with Tatum, Luka, Trey, Spider Buck, and all that. And so, I don't know, man. At some point, some personal accountability has to be taken. But I will say this. I agree. To switch gears a little bit, unless you have anything to say more about Zion.
No.
I want to talk about the boys in Philly real quick.
I was going to switch gears to that too because it's crazy because we talking about people that are questioning people's like, do they want to play basketball? You can't question. People can talk about it, whatever they want to say about James Harden. He's been to 3 teams in 14 months. You can't question if that brother loves to hoop. You can talk about he comes in overweight stuff. You can't question if that brother loves to hoop. Like he's special. You know what I'm saying? Like it's special in Philly. Go ahead. Like it's.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Do your thing. Go ahead.
I was just getting ready to say it amazes me what can happen when a player enters a happy situation, right? I'm happy for James Harden. I'm happy for Joel Embiid, right? Joel Embiid, sometimes he's a troll on social media, but there's, he hasn't been blatant enough where it's like, all right, I'm miserable. Or it's not to say that he has been, but just like, I'm sure that takes a toll on you as an individual, as a player, to see that the second best player on your team isn't there. I know he's a professional and he's not going to come out and say that, but that's our job to do that. And so to know that he was quiet about it and still putting up MVP numbers and now has a former MVP on his team, it's about to get scary in Philly. And I'm not even going to say that James Harden is back because you can't be back when you've never left. A lot of people feel that like, okay.
He was hurt. Like,
well, not even just that he was hurt. Not even just that he was hurt, but that he wasn't giving it his all in Brooklyn. And I think it's so funny to me how people forget that as basketball players, as professional athletes, they are still human beings.
Yeah.
So as much as you want to sit here and say like, all right, he should be giving his all for 48 minutes a game. When you are a human being, you have emotions. When you are a human being,
feelings.
Right, you have feelings. And so you step out on a court and put on a jersey that you're not comfortable in, playing for a team you're not comfortable with, like that, things tend to happen physically, emotionally, and all that. And so now you enter a situation where, oh snap, like the second best player, or Joel Embiid is playing. Oh my goodness, I forgot what that's like to have someone on my team who I can count on that can give me 40. That's fun, right? And so it doesn't shock me to see that the joy has been restored for James Harden. And to keep it a stack, he's always remained professional. Even whether you think he gave his effort or not, he could have just sat out. He could have just not played. He could have just watched. Yeah. He could have just, all right, I want to get out of here. That's a dude who you can say has leverage and has proven that he has an MVP, right? He's been in the finals before.
Yeah.
So,
It's crazy though. It's crazy things because James Harden goes to a situation. He's a blessed man. He went to a situation with the Brooklyn Nets where we have never seen a more talented big three in the history of the NBA. Now he's in a situation with the Philadelphia Sixers. As a guard and big duo, we've never seen a more skilled guard and big duo in NBA history other than James Harden and Joel Embiid. I know it's only been a few games, but let me tell you something. Like, they're here. Like, James Harden is one of the greatest scorers in the world, but he's also one of the greatest passers and facilitators. Pick and roll with Joel Embiid is special. Joel Embiid may be the most skilled big man damn near maybe in history. Like, he's Hakeem, but can operate at all three levels. Like, we're witnessing this, a very unique duo, something we've never really seen before. And it's gonna make people like a little uncomfortable, but that's just the truth. And it's just kind of like they fit so perfectly because it's just like the pick and roll, the pick and pop, the way they both like to get to the rim and draw fouls. Like, people may not like this, but let me tell you something. Drawing fouls is a skill. Getting easy points and opportunities at the charity stripe is a skill. So it's just kind of like they're a very unique duo, and I just hope they can stay healthy, and I hope they have success, and I'm looking forward to continue to watch the Philadelphia Sixers with James Harden and Joel Embiid. Yeah.
And, it's so kind of crazy to think as well, when you talk about James Harden and Joel Embiid, it's like they fit perfectly well together, right? Like, because you can't always put two talented guys together and it work out, right? You can't put 3 or 4. But to wait, I know it's only been a couple of games, y'all. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun.
I jumped it. I jumped it. And I ain't backing down.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at it all. And it's crazy. I mean, one of the best scorers in the game just had 16 assists. But you kind of put all that to perspective and what that means for the entire team. Hey, it might get spooky.
It's one problem though.
Joel Embiid. Let me just acknowledge go ahead. One of the most skilled big men thing. Joel Embiid, we had that I think Mount Rushmore or graphic or conversation about some of the best versatile scorers of all time in terms of people that can score at all 3 levels. Doesn't matter where the ball is, they can score.
Yeah.
And at the end of that conversation, we didn't have Joel Embiid at first. But if I remember correctly, at the end of that conversation, I think we both realized that Joel probably is in there. Maybe I'm not saying top 3, top 4, whatever, but like
it was top 6, I don't mind.
Like you think about just being able to dominate from all levels, shoot 3, midi, because Joel gets busy on the second level of the basketball court, on the highest of keys. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say lowest anymore, on the highest of keys. To be a big man like that and still doing that, that's not common. And he has muscle and weight to him. It's not like, all right, he's a stretch 4 who, pick and pop. No. If he has to, he can cause damage on the low block. But go ahead. I just want to acknowledge that.
No. People crying about they draw fouls, James Harden and Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Stop fouling. Stop fouling. Like, stop fouling. Like, this is basketball. Like, getting to the line is a skill. Like, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Like, that's why you got to understand, like, like, easy points, like, you're taught at a young age, like, attack the rim. They're going to foul you. Get to the line. Get yourself, going. Like if you're having a bad shooting night, get to the rim, try to get to the free throw line, get some easy shots, get your rhythm back. So it's just kind of like I said, they're a very unique duo. And like I said, I think Hakeem is like arguably damn near like almost top 3, top 5 most skilled of all time. But I'm having a hard time with like Joel Embiid. He may be the most skilled like big in the history of the game. Like, cause I seen Hakeem play, and I watched games of Hakeem, but then I watched games of Joel Embiid, and it's just kind of like it's like evolution. Like players just evolved. We had Hakeem, then we got Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid's doing like what Hakeem was doing, like with the footwork and in the post, but like he can do it in all 3 levels. You know what I'm saying? He's doing tween, step back, same move as James Harden. On the 3-point line. Like it's crazy, bro. Like it's insane. It's really insane.
Yeah. And I know the word you used was skilled, right? It wasn't better, of course. But I also want to wait until I see Joel do it on the biggest stage. Hakeem is a 2-time champ, Hall of Famer, and Joel Embiid is going to be a Hall of Famer too. But I want to see it on the biggest stage, because that's where all the greats have done it. That's where I think you're really measured and and also too, if Joel wins an MVP, right? Yeah. And for the record, to me, it's not crazy to hear or even say that Joel and Hakeem are on the same level at all. It's not crazy at all.
From a skill standpoint, right? That's what I'm going off of.
Right, and that's exactly why. Make sure to acknowledge that you did say skill, not better. Mm-hmm. And so just going off the eye test and just seeing the bag, right, and just seeing like Joel Embiid has a pull up midi in his bag, right? Joel Embiid has a catch and shoot, and like Joel Embiid has a pump, dribble off the. Joel Embiid has a turnaround fade,
drawing crosses and fouls. Like
you feel me? Like
it's crazy.
The bag is definitely there, and so now you got a brother in James Harden who also has a bag, and just I don't know, man. It's getting special in Philly. I know we talk about James and Joel, but real quick, I also want to mention Tyrese Maxey.
I've been here, baby.
Of course.
Kentucky guards, man. Special.
So, I know obviously everyone's going to talk about the big 2 and whether it's a big 3 or a big 4 in Philadelphia. I'm going to say this. I think Tyrese Maxey is low-key going to be the X factor for the Sixers. Again, of course, Joel and James are going to be the quote-unquote engines. They're going to be the guys that, really, really take you to the promised land. But I think Tyrese is going to have to be that guy that's like, okay, we're going to need that third option. And obviously, shout out to Tobias as well. Don't get me wrong.
But what talk about that?
Right, in terms of being able to create his own shot, in terms of bringing that youth and energy to that team, I think it's going to be him. And adding James Harden is going to do wonders for him. And I'm not even talking about just on the court in terms of just like, okay, Tyrese being another guy, being another option that has a score. But that takes the pressure off of you, especially when the playoffs come around. Because no matter how good you are, you want to have guys that have been there before, guys that have done it before. And James Harden, even though he may not have a championship, he's experienced playoff basketball. He's experienced what it's like to win at a high level, including an MVP. So to have that kind of mentorship, and I think James is ready too, right? I think the question has always been is, can James return back to form? But he hasn't gone anywhere. He just was on a different team.
Well, but it's also, like I said, we had a conversation. It's just like he also was in a situation where he sacrificed. Like he came to a situation where he knew that he wanted to be part of a 3-headed monster. His game had to take a step back because it's just like Kevin Durant needed the ball, Kyrie Irving needed the ball. It's just kind of like everybody knew that he had to be the point guard because he was the best passer on the team. So it's just like he had to facilitate. Like he's a better point guard running the show than Kyrie Irving, and that's no disrespect to Kyrie Irving. But Kyrie Irving is like this guy that can he's a showman, you know what I'm saying? But he can help get other players involved, but we know James Harden does that in a more elite way. So it's just kind of like he sacrificed, and then things just ain't work out. So it's just kind of like now you go back to Houston where it's just like, okay, go play your game. Don't worry about you can pass the ball and stuff like that, but go play your game. Go out and score first. And it's just kind of like what this does with Joel Embiid and James Harden is just like it opens up the floor for everybody else. You talk about Tyrese Maxey. He's going to benefit super. because like he's gonna be wide open all the time. Because it's just like now, it's just like you gonna have to you double team Joel Embiid in the post. You got James Harden, you got Tyrese Maxey on the wing. You know, like he can still attack the rim. He can handle the ball. He's a combo guard and stuff like that. I told you a long time ago. I was just like, yo, like everybody was talking about the Ben Simmons and possibly for in Portland deal with CJ McCollum. I was like, why would you give up Tyrese Maxey when he's basically like CJ McCollum? Like you basically have that night. He's not there yet at CJ's level, but like that can be his ceiling. You know what I'm saying? And he should have been a lottery pick coming out of college. And I was telling people, I was just like, yo, like somebody in the late first round pick, I wanted to go to Miami, but they picked somebody else. But somebody was going to get like a future starter because he was that talented. But it's special. Now for the Tobias Harris situation, that brother looks lost. Theus.
God damn.
He looks lost on that court. I'm worried. Like when we talk about the Sixers, like we talk about Joel Embiid and James Harden, I'm worried because Tobias is getting paid a lot of money. Like you can't be the third option. We're talking about Tyrese Maxey being the third. We should be talking about Tobias Harris being the third option. We should talk about Tobias Harris being the X factor. So it's just like he got to figure it out. Like I'm watching the games, like he just looks lost on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like like they probably should have tried to package him in like maybe a third team, but I feel like unless they win a championship, don't be surprised if he's not there next year because it just seems like he doesn't really fit. And it's been rumors of him wanting out anyway, so it is what it is though.
I mean, it's still early. Just and early in that, I mean, they just got James Harden. So, just got to see how it fits. Because I mean, winning cures all. They go out win a championship.
Winning cures all.
You be going to forget out all this. You know what I'm saying? Philly fans too. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? You win championship, everyone is loved. Ain't nobody going to remember like, yo, you didn't win, and you good. Lose, and people have a problem. It really is that simple. Like I think a lot of times, fans and players and everyone just gets caught up in debates or let their feelings get the best of them. It's like, yo, it's really, really simple. Win basketball games, and you will receive praise. Lose basketball games, and people will shit on you. There is no other explanation needed. Very, very simple. What's happening with the Lakers right now? Are they winning games? That's why people are shitting on them. When you win, people don't say anything. And if they do, it's good stuff. But, shit happens. Who am I to sit here and,
Yep.
We'll see what this second half of this, what?
Let's get into cap or no cap real quick.
Please do.
But I got a cap or no cap because we talking about like skilled big men like of all time and stuff like that. We talked about like Mount Rushmore. Cap or no cap? Nikola Jokic is not in the Mount Rushmore when we talk about all-time skilled bigs. So think about that. Like you got 4, the Mount Rushmore of skilled bigs. Cap or no cap? He's not in that. Think about it. Think about bigs. Think about the bigs.
And for those, for our lovely people who listen on the audio platforms, there was just a moment of silence because I was thinking. I wasn't. Okay, so got Hakeem.
That's
you
one.
got Hakeem. You got
Dirk.
All right, well that's not. Are you saying bigs or centers?
Bigs. So if you're a 4 or 5, it means like I'm talking about.
Damn, you might want to just say 5s to.
No,
cover,
I'm talking about 4 and 5. I'm talking about 4 and 5.
That's a wide range. Okay, fine. Hakeem 1. I'm not going to say he's more skilled than Kareem. I'm not going to do that. So Hakeem, Kareem, you got 2 spots left. And these last 2 I'm just going to throw out some. Got Joel Embiid. Shaq. I'm just going to say these names. Shaq.
Sabonis.
Will. Sabonis. I don't know. No, not Sabonis. Not Sabonis.
With Portland?
Not Sabonis. I know who you're talking about. Not Sabonis.
Yeah, okay. I'm not talking about the baby one.
It doesn't matter. Just especially too when we talk about bigs, especially so you're saying 4 and 5s. I know what you mean by skill, and I know that you're not saying that means that they're better. But I'm not about to sit here and say that Sabonis is more skilled than Shaquille O'Neal.
Come on, what about What about Tim Duncan? And it's crazy you said Shaq because people loved it like Shaq was power. Like Shaq was very skilled.
Please, you feel me? Please don't get it twisted.
He was very skilled. Passing like the ball fakes and turn around and slam it like the quick spin moves off the block. Like yo, Shaq was
definitely dunking on
elite footwork. Like yo, like come on, he wasn't just like this damn bulldozer. Like yeah, he could dunk the ball, but like people kill me with that shit about like Shaq wasn't skilled. Like go turn on that film. But it's hard
Nikola
though.
Jokic more skilled than Tim Duncan. You're opening up a nasty bag.
Whew.
I'm not gonna say he is. So yeah, no. I'm gonna say Cap.
You gonna say Cap? And then give me your 4. And then give me your 4. Right. Give me your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore for skilled bigs. That's tough. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. I gotta give you some complete sentences for that.
Because Chris Bosh? Like we get busy. Chris Bosh is skilled, bro. Don't sleep. But it's like
all right, for the record, y'all. When I say no, that's not me saying they're not skilled. Definitely, but it's just like if I'm only getting 4 to choose from,
it's hard.
Just know,
it's hard. Is Joel Embiid in this category? That's what he's in there with me because I can't sit up and say he may be the greatest. He may be the most skilled big man of all time. This is
a very good question. It's gonna piss a lot of people off. Damn. Yeah.
This gonna be a
good. All right, you want to say yours? You guys say yours in a complete sentence. So we need the question. Can you name your Mount Rushmore of most skilled big men of all time?
Hakeem. Hakeem. It's hard. All right. Hakeem. Joel Embiid. Tim Duncan. And it's Jesus Christ. It's between Dirk Nowitzki and it's between Dirk Nowitzki and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I just can't have. I gotta have. God, I really have to have Kareem in there because that skyhook was legendary. Like I really have to have Kareem. I'm gonna go with Kareem. I'm gonna go my Mount Rushmore of skilled bigs. We talk about 4 or 5. I'm going Hakeem. I'm going Joel Embiid. I'm going Tim Duncan. I'm going Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's your final answer?
Do I want to take Tim out for Dirk? Shit, it's come on. I'm tripping. I am tripping right now.
You are. I'm tripping. So I'm tripping. No.
You're not gonna do that. I'm going Hakeem. No, you're not gonna do that. I'm going Hakeem. I'm going Joel Embiid. I'm going Kevin Garnett, and then I'm going Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, that's funny. That's not even who I thought you were gonna say. Perfect. Thank you,
Kevin Garnett.
Okay, so for the 7th time, do you mind saying? Can you say? Who is on your Mount Rushmore for the most skilled big men of all time?
On my Mount Rushmore for the skilled big men of all time, we got Hakeem, Joel. This is not just my 4. Hakeem, Joel Embiid, Kevin Garnett, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
What's up?
On my end, let's see how we want to get rocking. All right. So for me, on my Mount Rushmore, the most skilled big men of all time, I have Hakeem Olajuwon, I have Anthony Davis, I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and last but not least, Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna get spicy too. Take out Kareem and put AD for me.
See, that's the name who I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah, I'm tripping. You know me.
KG is tough. KG is tough.
I'm taking my Hakeem, Joel Embiid, KG, and Anthony Davis. I'm sorry, old generation. Kareem ain't making.
Yeah, yeah. That's you didn't pay your respects. I don't. That's not. That makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it makes me very uncomfortable.
Who am I taking out?
This bar, you know what? Usually that statement works. If we weren't talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Usually, 9 times out of 10,
who am I taking
question, out? I'm all for.
Who am I taking out?
You know what's funny? I don't even care. Feel me? It's Kareem. Take somebody out. Put Kareem on the damn list.
Hakeem, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Kevin Garnett.
It don't even matter. Literally, it don't even matter.
Yeah,
to me, it don't matter. You get Kareem on that list. You get Kareem on that list, man.
I'm gonna take I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good. Cause I can't just look at one skyhook shot. I know he leads all time NBA in points and stuff like that, but like he has the most unstoppable shot in the history of the game. But you know what? Everybody on my list can do a little bit more than that. You know, I hate to say it, but they can do a little bit more than that.
Somebody gonna get real pissed off that Will Chamberlain not on here.
Will Chamberlain, yeah. Some people gonna be mad at
Nicole. Real pissed off.
Some people gonna get mad at Nikola Jokic is not on here.
They'll be all right. Is there? Let me show. I have to make sure we're not forgetting nobody. We're not forgetting nobody.
Oh my gosh!
Because as long as we got 8 names or 10, maybe.
Yeah, I'm good with mine. I love that you put Shaq in there. KG. I love that you put Shaq in there.
Shaq, AD. Can't say Kevin Durant. Because I'm a true big. They got Shaq.
I'm glad you put Shaq in there. Because people may have a problem with that, but they really shouldn't.
Of course, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nobody else that was forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson. Lord help me. David Robinson.
Yeah.
You could even. No, we don't acknowledge him. You said Charles Barkley.
I'm good. Hakeem, Joel.
Right. No,
KG, and Anthony Davis. I'm straight with mine.
It ain't gonna get better than the names we already mentioned. I just want to make sure that at least
Chris Bosh could have been honorable mention in that group.
Somebody say Kevin McHale. I just want to shout out Bill Russell because we're talking about bigs. Just want to shout him out.
Shout him out. Definitely shout him out. Definitely shout him out.
That's tough for a variety of reasons. All right. Yeah. We're not missing nobody.
He's the OG legend. But say that you said Cap. So it's definitely Cap. It's definitely Cap for Nikola Jokic being on the Mount Rushmore of all-time bigs. Before we talk about skill.
No. Yeah, but I say okay. Make sure that word is in there.
We talk about skill.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's tough.
That's a good one though. If someone makes a case that he is in there, I mean, it wouldn't be wow to me because he wasn't in yours either, was he?
No, Nikola. No, he wasn't mine.
Oh, neither of us have. Shit.
No.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be all right. But a couple of housekeeping items before we conclude this lovely episode. Again, make sure y'all listen on YouTube. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. For those listening on the audio platforms, make sure you give us a follow, subscribe, 5-star rating, and all that. All right, more dope content is on the way. And just like that, no pump fakes, we gone. Peace.
It's your boy, AK Smith, also known as AK. Make sure you guys go follow No Pump Fakes wherever you get your podcasts.